signed with TNA in 2012,
Mm-hmm.
and how did you make that connection? Did they reach out to you? And do you have any memories about your debut? I know I was a big fan of TNA at that time, and remember your debut with Kurt Angle in that vignette. How did that whole thing come about?
Well, it kind of came about that they had a storyline coming up, and they needed some extra guys, and they were thinking about ways to make this storyline mean stuff by having feuds with other wrestlers, and they were like, "Well, Bruce threw out my name, and a couple of people like Bischoff and a couple of Dixie were like, "Oh yeah, we would really like to have Wes here." So they realized that back in my amateur wrestling days, I used to go to all Kurt Angle's camps, and Kurt would come to my school and do an amateur wrestling camp. So I've known Kurt. I have pictures of me and Kurt since we were little kids. And of course, Hogan was there, and I've known Hogan my whole life. My dad gave Hogan his first pair of wrestling boots, his first $100 bill. So there was a lot to do with a lot of interaction that I could do with other Impact wrestlers because of my background and my heritage and the people that I've known throughout the years. So they were like, "Oh, Wes will do pretty good." And then they came up with this crazy storyline of me going against Kurt and all that stuff, which ended up being a steel cage match in Texas on pay-per-view on Lockdown, me versus Kurt Angle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you, when you were involved in the gut check angle, that's something that a lot of folks debate to this day, and you defeated Garrett Bischoff, who you teamed with, of course, thereafter. What was your thoughts of that whole gut check phenomenon? Good thing or bad thing?
Good thing I was so scared. They didn't really tell me if I was going to win or not. I'm going to be dead honest with you. They didn't tell anybody. It,
Was
it
that
was actually a real work. Like it was like they were like no one knew if you were gonna like they didn't tell me if I was gonna win. Like and I'm looking at Bruce like, hey, like what's going on? He's like, you gotta go out there and prove it. And I'm like, all right, like but like then again, I was in my hometown. It was kind of like, well, I'm in Orlando, like of course everyone's gonna scream and like so I kinda already had that like just give me the mic. Like I got this, like but it turned out really good and it was a great experience and I have to thank everybody from TNA at the time that helped me out and I truly was blessed to be there. Like when I was there, it was probably some of the best wrestling I've ever seen because we had Samoa Joe, Austin
great?
Aries, I mean
AJ.
AJ Styles. I mean, there's so many Kenny King. I mean, there's just so many people. Abyss. I mean, Sting. I mean, oh my God, the talent there was insane. The people that were in the locker room, everybody was great wrestlers, and that's what TNA and Impact Wrestling back in the day was known for. Was we actually had a really good program. We really had great wrestling. Like if you wanted to watch some good stuff happen, turn into Impact and you would see some great matches.